Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Prelude to Positivity. My name is Tommy Geraci. Today, my guest is an actor, writer, Emmy Award-winning producer, a TikTok star, and also a mental health advocate, Mr. Jake Hunter, and I'm calling this Jake Hunter Unmuted. Hello, Jake. How are you?
Good, Tommy. How you doing?
Pretty good. It's good to get you unmuted once in a while, because usually you keep yourself muted and let everybody else talk.
Well, you do kind of the same thing, so I feel like we're kind of on that same wavelength together.
Yeah, we hold the space for others because they need it, right?
Yeah.
So to begin, can you tell us a little bit about Jake for people that don't know you already, what you were like as a kid and growing up, and then when did you realize that this entertainment thing was your calling?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was a kid, I really wanted to be a pro baseball player, actually. And I was like, I would get up early, like even as little as I can remember, and hit balls off the tee. And like, then I'd get home from school and I'd be going to play baseball. Like that's all I did when I was a kid. So I developed this like crazy work ethic when I was little, like as far as back as I can remember. And nothing was going to stop me to getting to my goal of being a pro baseball player, except for the fact that I wasn't actually good enough to be a pro baseball player. That was the only thing that was in my way. But anyway, yeah, I ended up playing through college. My last attempt at it was I drove like 8 hours from upstate New York to this tryout for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Wow.
And I got there. I was like the first one there, and it ended up raining, and they called it because of rain.
Oh,
And then I went to a diner nearby, and some guy came up to me as I'm contemplating my life and trying to see like what the hell I'm going to do, because it doesn't look like this path is necessarily, gonna pan out. And he gave me a card. He's worked at this agency. He said they were having an open call that day. I went and I had to read a Reese's Pieces script. And I had no clue what the heck I was doing. I'm pretty positive I bombed. And then, yeah, called me the next day, and they said they wanted to sign me. They put me in, I was like, I have no idea why, but they did. And they put me in a few acting classes, and I did that for a short amount of time. I was just like, screw it. Like, I have nothing else going on. I'm going to do it. I have nothing else going on. And what are the chances that it just seemed like the universe was pointing me in a different direction. So I just kind of rolled with it. And then, yeah. And then I moved out to LA. I was like, screw it. I'm going to just go to LA. And that's where the journey began for me in entertainment.
cool. So it sounds like there was a shift in the purpose for you.
Absolutely.
Which I had a conversation last night, actually did a room on purpose, and we were talking about how it can change throughout your life and how you may have multiple purposes. So that's very cool to hear that.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
And then from knowing you and knowing about you, I feel like I noticed that you take a leadership role in most of the things that you do. So has that always been something that comes naturally for you, or is it something you developed over time?
Well, I'm an older brother, so I felt like I'm used to like from like a young age, just being I don't know, leading is like in a weird way. Like he's my little brothers, and I don't know. That's where it began, and my relationship is so close with my brother, and yeah, and that's definitely where it began. And then yeah, I like to try to help things come to fruition and think of ideas and try to figure out ways to make them happen. So yeah. I feel like, yeah, that kind of, my brother inspired me.
Cool. Because I noticed that like on TikTok, even the way your TikToks are done, I can tell that you're the leader of that crew that you have. And then the film that you did and you end up being producer of it, to me, it always sounded like you just took that leadership role naturally.
Yeah. In TikTok, I am pretty much the crew for the most part. They're done. It's like, there is no crew pretty much for my TikTok. My brother will help me film sometimes, or I'll have friends. We'll just collaborate. And then in terms of that film, we just wanted to make something, and I knew, and I definitely helped spearhead that project, but there were so many people that helped. That project was like a million people that were really talented that came together to make it come to fruition, which I'm super grateful for. So yeah, that was a cool film.
Now, I know that Ram Dass is a big part of your life. So
Cool.
I did a lot of reading on Ram Dass to prepare.
I appreciate that. I
And I
appreciate
was
that a lot.
wondering, you use his quotes so often, but what are some of your favorite ones?
My favorite Ram Dass quote is "We're all just walking each other home." That's my favorite Ram Dass quote by far.
When I was researching it, I liked that one, and also the quieter you become, the more you can hear. And I think you actually do embody that.
I like that a lot. I had a awareness today, actually, and I was sitting out in the park. I went because my brother's a baseball player too, and he's out training right now. And so I went, and I'll just sit in the park when he trains sometimes. And I was meditating, and it was so nice, and it was just like so sunny, and the birds are chirping, and it's just everything's so green. And I was like, why can't I create that inside, if that makes sense? Like, why can't I create that inside of me, like my heart, my mind, all these different places? Like, what if my mind and my body was that quiet and that, like, I don't know, that nice and relaxed? And so I've thought about that, and that's something I'm actually going to try to work on, because I feel like I'm always looking for it externally. Once I get to the park and it's nice, I can just relax. You know what I mean? Once I get to, and I can just step away from work and I get all my posts done, then I can relax. But it's like, what if I'm like that internally all the time? Like, I thought about that just now. I just had that awareness today. So I'm glad that I get to share that with you, actually, because I just had that awareness.
I think you can do it, because I think even monks that go away for those periods of time to be alone, when they come back from there, they know how to tap that into that, and they know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can I think it's achievable.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's the work. This is the work right here. But it's really good and satisfying work. And yeah, I'm excited to be on this journey and to have these kind of tools to be able to work on this now. I'm super grateful for that. So yeah.
And then how did mental health and why did mental health become such an important issue to you? Because I know that's something that's really important for you.
Yeah, after the Emmys, I really thought, man, like I got to bring my mom with me. I got to like I told her, I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna bring you the Emmys this year. She was like, yeah, right. Like, she didn't believe, because I mean, as far as she knew me, when I first got to LA, I was basically bartending, personal training. I don't know, like going to auditions for student films, in acting class. Like, that's how people knew me. And then all of a sudden things started happening really quick. I started working on this show, and then it got nominated, and I brought my mom with me. And it was like all the things that I could have ever imagined wanting to do kind of at that point in time in my life, I did. And then kind of the dust settles, and you're still left with the same internal that you had before, because the external comes and goes. Anything in space and time is just always changing, you know?
Sure.
And so for me, the internal, like my soul I needed to do more work on it. And I didn't realize it. I didn't have the awareness that I needed to do more work. And it was the same thing with TikTok. Even when I was like, all right, like, I'm going to use this year to get 1 million followers. Like, what? I'm just like, I'm going to use this year during quarantine to get 1 million followers. And then I did it. And then afterwards I was like, fuck, I still feel the same again. Like, and so then I was just like, maybe this isn't it. Maybe it's not it. And I still, like, I am still fighting it every day, because I feel like now I have these traps. I post a video every day, and if it doesn't get the numbers that give me that dopamine hit or whatever it is, then I'm just like I'm just sucked into it. It just traps me right back into it.
Yeah, it's easy to do that.
And so I have all these traps in different places that I'm trying to say, like, Ram Dass would say it was Maharaji in drag, his guru, like messing with him in drag. I just try to say that this is like Ram Dass for me in drag, messing with me, like just really trying to get under my skin and really test me. Am I going to be ego driven today? I don't know. Let's really see. And so that's really the work. That's why I got into mental health, and it's daily stuff that I'm working on. And the thing that was great is Clubhouse allowed me to like have a space to where I could openly discuss it. And I tried to openly discuss it on TikTok, and it just didn't feel like a safe space for me to do it. I dealt with, like, even now, like I would get like, I think I've talked about it with you a bunch of times, but on some of the videos I could get up to 40,000 comments, and they could all just be like you're trash.
Yeah, they're mean.
And previously, sorry, go ahead.
I said they're mean on there. I've seen it.
Yeah, and so for me, I at first I took it very personally, and I was like reading it, and the first time I went viral, and I was like, maybe like I was in bed at like 3 a.m. Like this is me in bed at 3 a.m. with my phone, and I'm just like I'm like sweating. I'm like, do I delete the video? I feel so much negative energy coming my way. And I didn't, I left it. But I learned that now just a lot of people are projecting. When you do something to reach a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of people projecting. And so now I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people that are working through their karma today. You know what I mean? That's now more of what I try to tell myself when I deal with that. And so Clubhouse just gave me a really good space to be able to do it. And it even happens, like today I got a message from some guy who said, Jake, I hear it in your voice. I think this room is making you depressed. And I know that I left your room depressed as well. And it's admirable what you're doing, but you're hurting everybody.
Oh my God.
But I'm also working on just sending love to everybody. So I just wrote back to him and I just said, hey, I'm so sorry that you had that experience in the room. I am working on myself right now, and I'm sending you love, and that's it. And so, it just happens everywhere, no matter what the platform is. But I will say that I've gotten to connect with a lot of amazing people like you. And like the more people that I can surround myself with in general, all of us, the more people you can surround yourself with, whoever that we come in contact with that are more in line with what we are striving for, whether it be inner peace or whatever it may be, finding our purpose or whatever it is, then I just feel like the closer we'll be to getting to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like from holding the space, you actually get just as much out of it as the people you're holding the space for.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it brought me, like I said, to people like you that I would have never met before. And so for me now, I never had that community. I never did. It was actually, my brother got me into it a bit. I started the first thing I did is I read a book called The Power of Now. That was the first thing I ever did. I don't know even how, I'm pretty sure that someone on set one day recommended it to me, and I just felt as though I wasn't reading enough. So I read it. It had nothing to do with even anything at all. And then it just totally opened my mind. And then my brother was really into Ram Dass, and then he suggested Ram Dass to me. And then that was like a real game changer, of course, to put it lightly. Yeah.
Family's always there, right? So they're always, when you're looking at them, what they're doing, and then you adopt some of it, it can be kind of helpful.
Absolutely. I got him into The Power of Now, and then he got me into Ram Dass. So it was nice. And we'll recommend each other books.
We actually could have almost met though, because you were nominated for daytime Emmys for Bay, right? Bay the series.
Yeah.
So we were nominated for Eastsiders. So we were always nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were there probably the same years.
Yeah, we probably were. That's crazy.
It's so crazy. And I think I remember seeing you there too. So I was like,
Are you serious?
Like, we would go out in the lobby and we'll be hanging out before and the intermissions. I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's insane. That's so funny.
So we actually were like zigzagging paths.
Yeah, the universe was like pushing us in similar directions.
Yeah, for sure. So would you say that that's how you keep your mental health in check, is by reaching out to other people and holding space for them and coming outside yourself a little bit?
I think that's one way that I do it. I think I have a bunch of ways to do it. Like, that's one way, is the room is definitely one way. I meditate every day, at least a couple times a day. Like I was just at the park meditating. I play like guitar and just like try to do things to where my mind is just completely still, like just things that I can get me completely out of my mind or my ego. Even if I suck at them, I'm just doing it and it can just get me completely out of that, the ego. And those are pretty much the main things that I do to do it. And I read and things like that as well. And working out, I think, is good as well. I work out every single day. And I listen to a lot of Ram Dass every day too. I listen to at least 10 minutes of Ram Dass every day. Usually that's what I do when I wake up, is like the first thing I'll do is I'll meditate, and then I'll put Ram Dass on for like 5 minutes. So like before anything, before I see my phone, before I'm back into this TikTok-y, whatever world that I get wrapped into, I've already heard like, you know, some perspective, and I've quieted my mind. And so, yeah, I'm in like a better mindset to start the day for sure. I don't look at my phone. I try not to look at my phone at all, or any social media, for at least the first hour of the day, to let my brain wake up.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Before you let everybody else in, you have to kind of take care of yourself, and then you let everybody in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the best
For
thing
people that are out there listening, and they want to start that journey to better their mental health, what tip would you give them to do for? What would be like the first step they should take to get on that right track?
I just give them the tools that I did personally. I don't think there's like a right way, but for me, like, I started by reading The Power of Now. I send a lot of people that Ram Dass link. Like, you just type Ram Dass in, Ram Dass lecture on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, there's I think it's The Miracle of Consciousness, I think it is. But there's a bunch of them. Like, right when that comes up, just click and listen. For me, I think what's great about his lectures is that they add comedy into it, which I like. And it's really simple, a lot of them as well. He's able to make them really simple, which is able to connect with a lot of people. So those are the first two steps that I would do. And then also, just even if you can meditate for 1 minute a day, just being able to quiet your mind, I think is so important, because I feel like some people's, it can be like a spiral and get completely out of control. And the mind is like a really great servant, but it is not a good host at all.
Wow.
Mean.
Okay,
yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one. So you were mentioning Ram Dass and that he has a little bit of humor in there. Do you think he would have been a good TikToker?
No, I don't know. I don't know how his TikTok skills would have been. I would have loved to have filmed a TikTok with him, though. I think I could have helped him make some good TikToks, but because he just lectures, so I don't know how the lectures would do. We'd have to tweak it a little bit to fit the TikTok format, but I would love to be able to make some comedy stuff and just slide some wisdom in there.
Yeah, and those little parables that he had, you could just do a short version of it, right, as a TikTok. That would be cool.
Or he could do some of his skits, like he talked about really funny stories with his guru. Like he could do a guru series. Like he could recreate those funny moments that he had with his guru and try them out.
And what all of this TikTok stuff and Instagram stuff and all that outside of us, but what keeps you grounded?
I think kind of like even going back to what you said of just knowing, kind of having my awakening now. It's like, I know now that my happiness isn't going to come from anything external. And so I know now what keeps me grounded, no matter what I accomplish. And I'm around so many people to where they accomplish something and it feeds the ego, and then they get further and further away from their true self, from who they really, really are at the core. And I'm trying to get closer and closer to who I am at the core and my true self. So I think just having that awareness, and I'm grateful for those tools that I mentioned to you, because those gave me that awareness, that's what keeps me grounded.
And what would you say that you're most passionate about?
I think that I have like so many different passions that like it's tough for me to pick one. But I definitely think that mental health is what I spend a lot of my time. My mental health is at the top of my list right now, because like if you're not able to take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to help anybody else. And I think a life of service, or a life of being able to help other people suffering, Ram Dass says, is like a really, really positive way to spend your life. And so that's what at least in the physical, whatever anyone believes in. But Yeah, that's like one passion. Obviously comedy. I love like making funny videos, and I like TV and film. I want to make more movies, and I want to do TV shows. And I still love baseball. I still, when my brother goes and trains, I'm still hitting. I'm making him throw me some pitches, and I still hit. And I love to, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff that I love to do. And I try to do something fun every day if I can, to I don't know. I just think it's good to enjoy every day. And I've been going to the beach more. I'll do things by myself now. It doesn't even matter to me if I'm with somebody or not. I'll go on I like found this sick hike now that I'll do. I'll just go. You could just randomly see me on a hike one day by myself, or sitting on a park bench, or like I'm doing a bunch of things by myself now. So yeah, I'm just trying to do fun stuff every day, and I have a bunch of passions, and I'm sorry I can close it into one, but those are a lot of the things that I love to do.
That's okay. Multi-passionate is fine.
Yeah.
But I do like that you mentioned about taking care of yourself, because it's true. I mean, when we do things for others, even if you go donate blood, they're never going to take all your blood.
Right.
Because you need some of that to live. So we have to learn not to be guilty about that. You can't feel guilty that you need to take time for you. Because it's not allowed in other areas. You know, they wouldn't ever, you can't deplete everything inside you, just like you can't give out all that blood. It's not can help you at all. And you won't be able to help anybody. So, yeah.
Yes.
And if you were going to write a book about your life, what would you call this chapter that you're in right now?
It would be like my awakening. It would be my awakening.
I had a feeling it was going to be that.
Yeah.
And what is the most fulfilling thing that you do right now for you? The most fulfilling part about everything that you're doing?
Most fulfilling part of what I'm doing now, it would probably be that I'm actually doing things for myself for a deeper reason. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing things to get validation as much. Like before, it was 100% to get a validation, or to get love, or I could list 100 things that I was trying to get, but now it's literally more to literally take care of myself so I can help other people. It's so simple now. It feels really simple too, to be honest.
Like that clean living.
Yeah.
It's mentally clean.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. And so this past year we've had has been such a year. But what have you learned about yourself in this time that we've kind of been isolated a little bit more?
I think that one of the coolest things is that I can be completely happy all by myself. And like I said, like I've been going and doing these activities by myself, but it forced me to work on loving myself more. And I realized how much I didn't. And now I actually am doing exercises, like Derek even gave me some that I told you, I think I mentioned to you that I've been working on, but like I'll look at myself in the mirror at night and I'll just say to myself all the things that I love about myself. And in the morning when I wake up, even like after I do my Ram Dass stuff, I'll just do some sense work and just fill my body with love. And so I think that's been the coolest thing, is that I always thought that I needed more when I actually had everything that I always needed, no matter what.
Yeah. Derek Jameson will make you realize those things too, because he always gives us these things to do, and then you're like, it's really hard to do it, but once you start it, it's not that hard. You're just thinking in the beginning, like, no way, I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Yeah.
But it's not as hard as it seems.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why he's one of the top 10 coaches, right?
He's the best coach. Yeah.
I'm like, I knew him before Clubhouse, so I'm like,
I knew him before Clubhouse too, believe it or not. Yeah, you heard me. Yeah. He's
it's amazing. But it's been so great because it's like we all came together in this one place, but we all know each other already. So it's kind of like it was gonna happen anyway.
Right, exactly. If not in Clubhouse, they would have put us together somewhere else.
Oh, for sure. We would have somehow. It would have been some house somewhere. A reality show, maybe, I don't know.
Right.
And then during this time that we've all been on pause, the world has changed a lot, and a lot of people have had awakenings. But what do you hope that we've all learned during this period that we actually don't let go of as things go back to whatever normal is going to be?
I hope that there were a lot of people that had a hard time being alone during this pandemic. And I hope that people don't come out of this seeking more external things. Like, I need more love because I didn't have it. Mm-hmm. Or I need more time to make up for the time that was taken away from me. I don't think about anything was taken away from me at all, to be honest with you. And so I just would really, really, I just really hope that people can just be present and not focus too much on the last year of like what we didn't have, and just be in the present moment now, because that's all that even really matters at all. Like, that's it. I would just say to people, I hope they can be present.
Yeah, you're afraid that everyone's going to run out and get blackout drunk with each other now because they haven't been able to party. And
bars are back open. Yeah, bars are back open. It's about to get wild. Yeah,
we're about to see some stuff we don't want to see.
Exactly.
What's one thing that you absolutely cannot live without?
One thing that I cannot live without is working out. Can I say that? I haven't missed a day of working out in 15 years.
Yeah, you can say that.
Dead serious. I have not missed a day of working out in 15 years. Even when I went to Belgium to go film, like, it was like an 11-hour flight, I think it was. And and I got there and all the gyms were closed. I mean, we weren't even in Brussels. We were in like this random college town called Ghent. And I was just running up and down the stairs at like 3 or 4 a.m. there, just doing stairs. And they called the hotel security on me because they thought they didn't know what the hell was going on. So yeah, I definitely think I am super disciplined on the things that I have to do every day, but working out makes me feel good too. Taking care of mind and also taking care of body, I think, and finding that there's balance in everything, right? So for me, I think working out is one thing that I wouldn't be able to live without.
Cool. And what's one thing you wish we could all live without?
I wish people could live without the need to live by the conventional rules of success. And basically what I mean by that is, like, I think that people should be easier on themselves because we weren't taught this when we were younger. Nobody was taught this. What we were taught is that if we make a lot of money and we, find success in some job, we'll be happy. But that's not it. And so for me, I am sending love to everybody, but I really don't like the content of people with their cars and their big houses showing them off, and kind of it's almost influencing people to want more materials. And so, yeah, that's the type of thing that I would encourage people to not do, because it encourages people to want the wrong things, I think, or things that just aren't going to make them happy. I don't even want to say the wrong things, but things that I just know won't make them happy at the core.
It's the big lie that they tell us.
Yeah. But we have to be easy because there's no way that we could have known that. We're not taught that in school. Like, I wasn't, at least. I don't think that any of us were. And we're on our own trying to figure it out. And I actually feel like we're really lucky to have learned this. And it's pretty cool that we learned this on our own, just finding ways to figure these things out by ourselves, because it's not easy to figure that out. And I don't even know how we ended up here to like learn these things, but we did. So I'm grateful for it.
Cool. And then if you could describe Jake Hunter in 3 hashtags, what 3 hashtags would you use to describe yourself?
Sheesh. That's like a stumper for me. Disciplined. Disciplined, hardworking, and And
It's hard, right?
yeah, it's hard. I don't know, loving, I guess. Like, and I love the people that I'm really close with, like my family and stuff like that. And that's what I'm working on right now. So sending love to everybody, even if they're people that aren't sending me any love at all too, you know?
Yeah, that's important. It's hard to figure that out. It takes a long time to learn that there's people that you're never going to get it from. And then I always say too about the forgiveness part, like you have to forgive people even when they're never going to apologize, because you have to let it go.
100%. And Ram Dass talked about that too. And he said that he had things that he milked for the first 30 years of his life.
Oh, wow.
And it's like we can milk anything that we want for as long as we want. We have the decision. We can hold grudges. It is whatever it is we want it to be. We can either hold it or not. And for me, he says another great quote that I love of his is he says, "I would rather be free than right."
Mm.
And I love that. And so same thing for me. I would rather be free than right. I'm going to hold this against you, or I'm going to, whatever it is, I'm going to let it go, because then I feel more free.
It's not healthy for you. That's what we don't realize. It's the most unhealthy thing for ourselves. Forget about the other person. It's even if you don't ever see that person again, you need to go on and be healthy.
Yes.
So I do want to thank you for taking time, because I know.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Tommy.
I'm so glad that we got to do this.
Yeah,
do you want to let everybody know where to find you online?
I'm on all the socials. I'm on.
It's Jake Hunter though. Jake Hunter official. Jake Hunter.
Yeah.
I'll list them underneath, but just some people listen and they don't read the stuff, so I just want them to know.
For sure. No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too very much, and I'm so glad that you include me in your room, because it's been amazing.
You are like such an amazing piece of the room. I'm so grateful to have you part of it. So thank you. And thank you for having me too. I really appreciate it.
Do you want to leave everybody with parting words, last thought before we leave them?
Yeah, I just would say his one thing that Ram Dass's guru said to him is love everyone and tell the truth. And that's what I'll leave everyone with. So love everyone and tell the truth.
Cool. You heard it from Jake. Love everyone and tell the truth.
Yeah.
And we will see you again. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Tommy.
See you on Clubhouse.
See you on Clubhouse.